back to another episode of Turn of the Millennials. I'm Stephanie.
I'm still Lindy.
And today we are going to be following up from last week, where we are now going into the daytime talk shows.
Yeah, like the more kind of trashy ones where they're just super cringe now.
But yet they were the morning talk shows, which is funny. So why was morning more trashy and cringier than afternoons? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. No idea.
And also, for those who don't know and aren't aware, we are actually in the same...
We're together today!
Yes.
Yay!
Lindy was doing some wedding stuff in town, so we decided to record in person.
Yeah.
It's crunch time, guys. So
36 days, guys, from recording anyway.
Yeah, so...
Oh my gosh, when will it be when this is out?
2 weeks?
About 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. So
36
that's like
days, so it's minus
30
days.
Like, it's going to be like 22 days.
It'll be like 30 days. It's 2 weeks, it's 14 days.
Yeah, 36.
For 36.
To 26 is 10. Minus 4 more is 22. Right?
If you take 14 minus 36, if you take the 16 off, that brings us down to 20. Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess 22.
22 days.
22.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Crunch time.
Anyways,
okay. Let's not talk about this. Drink talk shows.
Yes, nerve talk shows. So, actually,
drink.
Drink.
You got off
topic. So, yes, actually, we got to post that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to post it with the show notes last time, and we'll just post them again on this one. But we'll post it on Instagram if y'all didn't see it. So, first, we have to talk about our
millennial moments.
I feel like that in itself was a millennial moment because Lindy didn't even remember what was going on, and she was just had a deadpan face for when I went.
Oh my god! Sorry, guys, got a lot on my brain right now.
So, what is your millennial moment?
Hold on, I forgot. I need to go back into my notes and remind myself of what they were. La 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 la.
I had kind of two good ones this week. Actually.
Okay, I don't know how we got onto this topic, but this guy at my work and I were talking about Harry Potter, and something came up that was troubling to me. I'm roughly the same age as Aunt Petunia was, like in the first few Harry Potters. That kind of made me just really fucking sad. And just...
Yeah. So does that technically make us older than James and Lily Potter were when they died?
Yeah, they were 21. No, they're like, if you go by actual chronological order based on like the fact that like the war happened in 97.
Yeah.
No. Because technically Harry and Lily, or James and Lily were like 2021 when they died. Okay. And they died in 1981. Okay. On Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah. I would kill it on that fucking Harry Potter trivia show. I would fucking kill it. Nice. But yeah, so they would be 23 years older than us, probably. 24 years older than us.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Yeah, so they'd be almost my parents' age. They'd be in their 60s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Old.
Yeah, on that
my stepson called me 47 years old yesterday.
40.
His sister and my fiance, his father, laughed and joined in. Made fun of me for my age. Because they know that I fucking hate it. Just get a rise out of me. So what'd I do? I fucking locked them out. Because they were outside on the back deck. And I locked them out.
Yes! Suckers.
And Aaron starts knocking on the door. And my back is to the door. And because I'm prepping dinner.
Dare you insulted woman.
And he knocks on the door. And I go, sorry, can't hear you. I'm old. And I made them all apologize before I let them back in.
Good. You don't get off scot-free, y'all. You don't get off scot-free. No.
What was your millennial moment? What made you feel fucking old?
So we had two little millennial kind of moments this week. The first one was actually a couple nights ago. We were watching some old Usher videos.
Usher.
And one of them was, I think it was the You Don't Have to Call video. With Chili in it, where she first appears, I believe it's that one where she first appears in one of the Usher videos. And I was saying to our friend Adam was over that night, and I was saying how that was the catalyst of Usher and Chili's relationship, and then that's what basically prompted the confessions because they started dating. I think after that video, and he didn't realize that she was part of TLC. And then I was like, well, yeah, TLC.
Who didn't know?
Our friend Adam.
Okay,
so I don't know if you've met him before.
How old is he?
90, born in 90, I believe. So he's still kind of a millennial. He's a few years younger than us.
He's like 32.
32, yeah.
Early 30s.
32,
okay.
early 30s. And then I was mentioning about how T-Baw's Left Eye and Chili, and that's what TLC is. And he's like, wait, what? That's what TLC stands for?
When I was little, I thought it was Tender Loving Care.
Which it does. It does stand for Tender Loving Care.
The channel was too.
But at the same time, their names were T-Baw's Left Eye and Chili. And he was like, I was like, yeah, that's what it stood for. So that was one of my millennial moments because I'm just so old. And then the other one...
That's kind of like the Waterfalls one that I had.
Exactly, like the Waterfalls one. So the other one I had is me and Kevin were watching Simpsons, and we were watching some of the newer episodes.
Yeah. They've been in the same year for fucking ever.
Right. They like the funny thing is they don't grow up, but the show still changes with the what's years. Going on in the times. And so for us, when it came, like I'm still thinking of Simpsons from the prime years in the 90s, like the 90s, 2000s. So when you flash back in there, they're going back to the 80s, the 70s when they go back 10 years, 20 years and stuff like that. Yeah. So in my head, every time when they flash back in the Simpsons, 20 years is like the 70s, stuff like that. We were watching it the other night. They flashed back 6 years, and it was like 2014 or something like that. And Barton, and Homer is a young guy, and this and that, and they're all in the technology. And I was like, and then I thought about it, and I was like, but 20 years ago, it's 2002. Which I was just like, are you kidding me? Am I old enough that 2002 is now 20 years ago, which is the equivalent of like the 70s and the 90s.
Yeah, when we were teenagers.
Right? Like, I'm feeling, it made me feel, it was my millennium moment, because I was like, also, like, how are the Simpsons never growing? Like, how are they, going back? Homer's born in, like, the 50s. Why are they flashing back to being a kid in, like, 2012?
Because because he was a kid when he, like, his parents took him to Woodstock and he was still in diapers.
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, because, like, Bart and Lisa are our age.
Give or take. They're millennials, essentially.
Yeah, they were probably born super early 80s. Bart, I think, maybe in 79, because he was already 10 in 1989 when the show was introduced on the Tracy Ullman Show.
And she was 8, so she would have been like 81
so
or something.
they've technically, when they flash back to Bart being like 5 years old, it should be like 1984.
85.
Or 85.
Like that, yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be 2014. Like,
right? So,
because if you think of that one, it totally contradicts that episode where they leapt forward into 2010 when Lisa got married, almost got married to that British guy.
Yeah.
So that's like, how can she be in college, university, getting married in 2010, yet she's only like 4 years old?
The episode we watched, she didn't go to college, apparently. They did a flash forward, and she decided she got accepted to college, but she decided she wasn't going to go to college, and she was working and I was like, okay, that's it. I understand it's a cartoon, it's been on for so many years, and you got to start making, like, pulling at the strings for plot lines. But at least get writers who watched it as a kid who can kind of keep the plot lines in the similar timelines and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
Lisa went to college, and she became the president. Like,
I know, like, continuity is not, like, their highest priority.
No, I get it.
But it shouldn't be an afterthought.
Yes.
Or a missed afterthought, I should say.
Right. So that was just a millennial moment for me.
For fans like this, like, I can relate this to my frustration with the continuity with How I Met Your Mother. There's so much,
and that's only eight seasons. Nine seasons. Sorry,
yeah,
9 seasons.
Like, that is
not 30
something seasons. Because, like, I am not normal. Like, I'm in my 29th time of watching this series. I'm in season 8 right now again. But yeah, like, there's so much miscontinuity in it that they don't factor in when whatever. Like, for an example, there's an episode where Robin talks about how she never played team sports as a child because she's so independent and selfish, or whatever. She played tennis but never in pairs because whatever. But then in another episode, she flashes back to when she was like 14 and her hockey team won, and then her dad caught her kissing a boy, and that's when he's like, I have no son. Like, right? So
you don't have a son, you have a daughter.
Exactly. You have 2 fucking daughters. But
then they never talk about her ever again.
Yeah, and
which is another continuity.
Katie was at the fucking wedding, but she wasn't in the actual wedding episode when they actually got married.
It was. Yeah.
She was in, like, the wedding date.
She was in the hotel with her, and they were playing hockey or whatever.
Yeah, and they were watching the Wedding Bride Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So, drink off topic.
Back to our actual topic, I guess, at this point. So that's our millennium moments. So we're talking, again, as we said, we were talking about the daytime talk shows. So these are the ones that were on basically before noon, Maybe started at 6 a.m, some of them. Basically that whole entire 6 to 12 kind of block. Some were news shows, some were, as we said, trashy, some were celebrity interview talk shows, some tried new formats, but there was quite a plethora.
There's a lot to choose from.
A lot to choose from. So the first, I guess, to start with is the longest running one at this point, which is the Today Show on NBC.
Gotta say, never watched it. Like, literally never watched it.
I don't think I have either. It was an American one, so...
Yeah. And not to mention, like, I wasn't into news until, like, well after I graduated high school.
Yes,
like,
yes. Like,
I really didn't give a shit about the news or current things.
Right before me and Kevin moved in together, like, 5 years ago, I was definitely getting into Good Morning America a lot. I don't know why. I was just, every morning I started watching Good Morning America. It was just it was so good.
I started watching, like, Pulse 24, or I would have, CTV on or in the background or something. Not anymore. Fuck you, CTV. Yeah. Screw you.
CTV.
Team Lisa. So
City
yeah,
TV
I was
now. Yeah, Team Lisa.
Yeah,
which will come up later because she was the host of one of our
she'll come up
shows.
Later. So yeah, like I didn't really get into watching news until like probably well in my late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, so
I only cared about what's going on in the world.
Right. So this was on NBC. It's the longest running daytime and longest running U.S. series. Started in 1953 and it's still going today.
That was 2 years before my parents were born.
That tells you how old this show is.
Fuck.
So the current hosts as it stands, because obviously being on from 53, you've had many, many hosts over the years. I'm trying to name them all. It's just
way
too
many.
So their current hosts are Savannah Guthrie, Hoda Kotb, I think is how you say her name, Al Roker, Craig Melvin, Carson Daly. Good for Carson.
Yay, Carson.
Yeah.
Does he still paint his nails?
No, as we all knew him. If we go back to the old one, TRL, which we actually didn't really mention.
No, we did not.
One, which TRL, shout out to Carson Daly, so he mentions in both of them. Chanel Jones, Dylan Dreyer, and Jenna Bush Hager, who is, I looked up, W's daughter.
Yeah.
Please don't know W. Bush.
Barbara's twin.
Right? Barbara's twin. They were the ones that were caught drinking underage in Mexico or something.
They were made... There was a really great episode of Robot Chicken, parroting them. Fucking hilarious.
Because they were underage drinking while their father was president, and it was hilarious. Good times in those days.
Oh man.
Again, this one mostly centered around like news, talk, entertainment. They'd have live guests, celebrities, and things like that. Just a general kind of morning news show.
I'd only watch the type of news shows like this when they had like my favorite bands playing.
Yes, because sometimes these ones, they were based out of New York, and sometimes they'd have, like in the summertime, concert series and things like that, where they'd have a stage set up outside, and they kind of shut down a street, and big artist or a new upcoming artist would come in and perform, and they'd have a huge thing. It's Good Morning America. I don't think I didn't put Good Morning America on my list here, but I was surprised I didn't. How dare I? Oh my goodness.
How dare you?
So... I don't have much information on Good Morning America about the stats right now. I'll look for it later. Next we have...
Google it.
We'll Google it. So next we have Maury Povich.
I love Maury Povich.
I did love Maury Povich as well. So
loved it. And I loved it when it moved it to 4 o'clock so then I could watch it every day.
Yes. So this
Or it was on at 11 and 4. It was the same episode.
Yes. So there was a couple of different... Because I think it was a syndicated show, so they could kind of play it whenever they wanted. So some of these
They taped several episodes in like one day.
And some of these were like only like... So say Today's Show and Good Morning America, they were usually recorded live every day. These other ones were recorded usually with a studio audience.
Yeah.
And they were syndicated, so you could see the same one maybe a couple of times. Maybe even different... You'd see it on different stations as well. Like different entities in that, so it was
all the time being like, oh sweet, it's on again, and then you flick on, it's like the same episode. I'm like, oh, awesome.
Or sometimes they'd have like 2 or 3 episodes in a row. Like it was, there was lots of this.
You are not the father.
So this ran from 91 until today. It is still going. It has been renewed through the 21 to 22 season. So as of right now, it is still renewed. It is classified as a tabloid talk show. It was NBC originally, and I guess now it's been syndicated on all the other ones. So again, like I said, You Are Not the Father episode is kind of the mainstay of the show nowadays. It seems to be one of the more popular ones.
Yep.
Other tropes or episodes or themes that they have done in the past was teen pregnancy, cheating, makeovers, little people. in the early years, they had the drag queens of the guess which one was a man.
Oh my God.
A woman.
Like, in hindsight, this is so awful. It's kind of like that fucking line in How I Met Your Mother where they're just like, hey, there's a bunch of swimsuit models downstairs. You want to go play Who's Hot and Who's Scott?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, that's awful. That's so fucking awful.
Right.
That's awful.
So, yeah.
I much preferred the episodes with the troubled teens.
I was about to bring that one up as well as one of kind of the last ones is the troubled teens, because as we kind of said in the last episode, we've kind of learned that now this troubled teen sector has actually kind of come out as not so cool because they send them to all of these schools that actually abuse the children instead of actually helped them.
Yeah.
So, but this was one of the cases. They would have these drill sergeants come in, and some of them were kind of funny, but yeah.
Well, there was one that was a recurring one that came on a lot. I don't remember his name or anything.
Yes.
But there was one that was like, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last episode, where the kid was probably about 10 or 11, and the drill sergeant came out and like was like, you know, doing drill sergeant-y things in your face or whatever, and he eventually got to like, oh, you don't want me to, or like, he asked me, like, you want me to be your daddy? And he goes, and unexpectedly, the kid says yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, you want me to be your daddy? And he goes, well, yeah, because I don't have one and I want a father.
Yeah.
And it broke everybody's heart.
Right.
It was heart crushing. And he gave him a hug. And I hope that little kid is doing well now.
Right. And then I think also maybe, I don't know, like, and that one of those moments is like, maybe these troubled kids aren't, it kind of makes
they're
people
starved
think.
for attention.
There's things, they're like this
it's
for
their
a reason.
environment that they're coming up in, and sometimes it might not even be the fault of their parents. It could just be like their generational circumstance.
Yep.
Like it's
just the poverty cycle that happens unfortunately in the States. You get born into it, and sometimes it's very hard to get out of it because the system
very difficult. Yeah,
makes
it's
it hard.
Very expensive to be poor.
Mm-hmm.
So but. Yeah, like I really like those episodes, and I did like the makeover episodes too. I
always love makeover episodes because it makes you see how nice the person feels afterwards. They're always so more happier and just more confident about themselves, and just those are always great.
Or like the teenager girls that come on that are like 13 and 14, and they're just like, I want to get pregnant as soon as possible, and blah blah blah.
And they dumb them down, like not dumb them, but they like dull down their sexy clothes and put them into normal age appropriate.
Well, not only that, but they will fucking like challenge them they'll test their parenting skills. They will give them real fucking babies and be like, you need to take care of them for 24 hours. Mind you, their real parents are standing by, like they're on scene, like they're there.
Yeah.
But they're there to catch. Like I remember one where the mom stopped the girl. She was actually a teen mom and her baby was being used in this experiment.
Yeah. And
the girl went to go change her diaper and she screamed, stop. She's like, you never, ever wipe a baby girl from butt to vagina. Like, it was, like, and the girl was like, well, why?
Yeah.
What? You are female. You are 14 years old. Do you not know how to wipe yourself? Seriously.
Apparently not.
Oh, my God. I was just like, okay, yeah, no, some people just need to not ever fucking procreate. Ever. That's what I get out of that show.
Right? Yes. Yeah. But then they learn. At least
it kind of kills your spirit for humanity.
Lots of these shows kill your spirit for humanity, we've learned. And that they were entertainment forever, which is unfortunate. So, next we have the ever-famous red-glassed woman, Sally Jessy Raphael.
Jessy Raphael.
Yes. So, just like Oprah, another legend forefront in the talk show industry. Mm-hmm. She ran from 1983 to 2002 on ABC. It was originally 30 minutes in her local St. Louis show when she started in 1983. Huh. Then lately when she was picked up by, everyone, it went to an hour. She was one of the first audience participation issue-driven talk show with a female host. They said that she possibly predated Oprah by about 3 years, give or take. She covered topics like extreme religious beliefs, pregnant out of control teens, to hypnotists and drag queens. Some of them actually Sally impersonators. Mm-hmm. So
I so remember those.
Right? So that to her is like, that's an homage. Like you want to be me? Yeah. Like that's amazing. And you bring them on there. And
because what is that saying?
Flattery or impersonation is the biggest form of flattery.
Yes.
Yeah. Flattery, impersonation is the biggest form of flattery.
Yes.
Yes, they do say that. She also has the highest rated episode was dedicated to women with large breasts. So again, that tells you, I don't know exactly what, I didn't say what the episode was about. I didn't check it.
Yeah, for those that can't see my face right now, my eyebrows are like in my hairline.
Yeah. Like,
what?
So I don't know if it was
highest rated episode.
I don't know what it was, but I didn't take a look. I saw this information this morning when I was looking a little bit more into some of these. So I didn't see the episode. I just saw this on Wikipedia, but it said that, yeah, that was the highest. And I have a question mark myself to be like, large breasts? Is it because, I don't know if she was doing it from the health perspective of women with large breasts or the exploitative perspective of large breasts and people just want, men wanting to oogle over large breasts.
Because I'm going to say majority of their audience is probably men.
Right. Because then, women with excessively large breasts, it is an actual health issue. You get crappy backs and you get shitty shoulders.
It gets incredibly
and stuff.
painful.
It gets painful and things and stuff. So, I can understand, but at the same time, a weird thing to happen.
Yeah.
So... yeah, Sally Jesse. So she wasn't too trashy, but I guess
she was probably one of the less trashy ones.
Yeah, because she still came from kind of that news background, so I feel like she's still
journalistic
background. So she still wanted to get hard hitting things.
Whereas, and I think the rest of them kind of were more geared toward ratings and shit, just getting ratings. Yeah. Outrageous topics.
I mean, all shows are always about getting ratings, or else you get canceled. No matter what.
Yeah. I mean, ratings are important when your work is a TV show, but I mean,
how do you get the ratings? Do you get it from?
That's why I think the media,
good.
Yeah, that's why
good journalism,
Hollywood's
good
evil.
Yeah.
The things they're willing to do for money is disgusting.
I mean, they are getting better for some things, some of the bad things in Hollywood, like the Weinstein things, are starting to come out, but there are still some terrible.
It's getting fixed and better late than never. But fuck, did that take a long time? Right. Way too long.
So I guess if we're talking about exploitativeness, we're going to go next to two that were kind of a little bit on the sweater.
Yeah.
Ricky Lake.
Exploitive, yeah. Yeah,
ran from 93 to 2004, and then they tried to bring it back again in...
My paper straw is soggy.
2012 to 2013. The Ricky chants, obviously.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Ricky. It was aimed more at the younger crowd versus the stay-at-home moms.
Yeah, it was kind of more for a teenager, I would say.
Or the college university crowd.
Yeah.
Because they didn't all want to watch the Live with Regis or all of these other sort of...
Because they weren't dealing with the life issues that their guests were dealing with at the time. The topic they were talking about, it wasn't relative to them.
Yeah, they wanted more fun, silly...
something they could relate to,
So one of the things, I know there's one episode that you were talking about, but this one I just want to talk about funny because I found this on Google, and nowadays it just makes me laugh. So during a show involving marijuana...
oh no!
She learned that 3 guests were using the substance just moments after they walked onto the set as she was about to interview them.
Oh my God!
Dear Lord!
That's catastrophic. My God. Tragic.
I don't know some of the other things, but there was the one that you were watching.
Oh my God, the one where boys want to be girls and how their families feel about it. And this one just fucking broke my heart because I'm watching it and I could only get through the first guest, really.
Yeah.
Because it was parents just being completely insensitive. This would not fucking fly today. No fucking way.
Yeah.
But the episode I watched was from 1999 and it was about the parents being I have a son, not a daughter, and blah blah blah. I will never call him her. I will never call my son Sean Stephanie. I will never adhere. Nowadays, oh my God, you deny your child for who they are, and guess what? You're gonna get fucking publicly shamed. You should get fucking flogged for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess back in the late 90s, it was completely acceptable because you want to know why? Because this fucking audience was cheering on these fucking parents' bigotry. But then they would also cheer on the child, the woman who, the boy who wants to be the woman. They would cheer her on, when she would stand up for herself to her parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm you guys are completely inconsistent, and it's ridiculous. When I was telling you this story, you were they might have an applause sign or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm just that is just so if I was in that audience, oh my God, I would have stood up in the middle of the table and I'd be you guys all should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. How dare you not love your child regardless of who they fucking are?
Yeah.
So he wants to wear a dress. Big fucking deal.
So if you go on to, I had to leave this open. Actually, I think that's the reason why I didn't have notes.
I had to Yeah.
When I was looking at this morning on Wikipedia, there was just they even had a huge section of topicality versus the other ones were like, they had topics from this, and this, little small list. This one had its own like 4 paragraph section on the topicality of Ricky Lake, because there were, your basic things where it was like I said, parenting skills, LGBTQ issues, discrimination, same-sex couples who want to have children, or straight people attracted to a person who's of LGBTQ, blah, blah, blah. Racism and prejudice, and all these different things. So it says they also had lighter topics like contests, female impersonators, beauticians for those who want to prove that they don't have talent, celebrity guests and reunions. But some of the more crazy, ridiculous ones here. So it said in the first season, she had a confrontation where the Reverend Fred Phelps of the Westboro Baptist Church decided he was targeting anyone who carries AIDS, the virus, and why they deserve to die. There was another episode where she dealt with women who were members of the Ku Klux Klan. So just it was kind of all over the place on what she did.
It sounds to me like the majority of her topics were chosen for shock value.
Yes,
which isn't surprising. I mean, that's something that Jerry Springer did up until they started to just make shit up.
Oh my god!
But
I'm sorry.
You should have just seen the look she just fucking gave me.
Kevin showed me a video just before you came over about Jerry Springer, and it was the one where it was a white girl who was dating a black man, and she's like, how dare you tell me he's a black man? Why didn't you tell me you were black? And I was like, this has got to be made, like, is this really a topic?
It was a Jerry Springer episode?
It was a Jerry Springer episode. So, like, I'm like, you're a white girl who's acting as if you didn't know the guy you've been dating for the last however many months was black, and I was
they like online dating? Like, were they?
No,
like,
she was sitting right beside him, and he's like, "Did you know he's black?" And she has this big shock, like, "How dare you not tell me you were black?" to him, and I was like, "But you're so like." Gary Springer just got ridiculous.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
like,
they went out of like town making up stuff to an end. At least Ricky Lake kind of kept it, I guess.
Real-ish.
Like they were.
That's why I love the word "ish."
Like they were real issues that were going on. Like they weren't good issues, but they were real things. They weren't literally made up topics and actors just atrociousness.
Just god awful.
Yeah, god awful. So next on our list, we've got Jenny Jones, which ran from 91 to 03.
I like Jenny Jones.
I did like Jenny Jones for a bit.
I was always interested to see what kind of hairstyle she was going to have today.
And then towards the end of it, I kind of stopped watching it because it was getting a little bit more trashier.
Yep.
And then there was the whole scandal of being sued over the Secret Crush on You episode and the murder of Scott Amador.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a gay man and I have a secret crush on a straight man, and the straight man was upset that he was
like humiliated on public television.
So a couple hours or a couple days later or something, went and shot the guy. Unfortunately, which terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, it originally began as a talk show format like Oprah. But she had low ratings in her first 2 seasons, so that's why they moved away from the serious and went to salacious. It's unfortunate. Again, as we said, ratings is
it's gross.
The big factor.
Sex sells,
gross.
right?
Yeah.
So
sex and scandal sells.
Yep.
The next one I just had on here just because again it was a long running one, but I didn't watch it. But I think I remember my grandma watching it. Donahue.
Oh yeah, my mom and I watched it a bit.
Yes. So I do. So if it ran from 67 to 96.
Yeah.
So that's a long run. That's not like 30, almost a 30-year run.
I feel like Donahue was kind of like a Maury Povich and Oprah combination, kind of.
Usually covered deep topics and guests. 1984, he actually introduced viewers to the hip hop culture because he had an episode about breakdancing.
Sweet.
So yeah, he's kind of he was one
Thanks,
of the
Phil.
Right? I only remember, like, to me, like I said, because in the 60s, clearly he was a younger man. To me, Phil Donahue was only the white-haired man. Like, that's
with the big glasses.
With the big glasses. Yeah. That's the Phil Donahue I know.
Like, he was old when I was a kid.
Exactly. So, I don't know what he would have looked like in his prime. I'm sure he was a very good-looking man and was a great host. But yeah, I just remember, like, so my grandma watched that
I remember
one.
my mom watched it, so I'd watch it with her. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like 96 kind of went off air, so like we had a few years of him in our radar. Mm-hmm. And then next we have, I think I remember you watching this one quite a bit, Montel Williams.
Yeah, I watched Montel Williams a lot.
I remember you watching that one a lot. And
I liked Montel because he
went based on inspirational stories.
Yes, he was more of one of like the positive talk show hosts. Like, did he have like questionable topics? Maybe. Sometimes, maybe. Yeah. I don't particularly remember any specific episodes, but I do remember him like being like a people's person.
Yes.
Like he was articulate, he knew how to talk, he was sympathetic, like he got down on like on the client or on the guest's like level.
Yep.
And he had great bedside manner. Like
he started in 91, so in a time when it is a white dominated field, he was a black man hosting a show. Yes. He ran from 91 to 08 on CBS. So he actually had 4,325 episodes and 17 seasons.
Congrats, bro.
Good for you, Montel. It started out like most tabloid talk shows, actually. So it started out sort of kind of trashy-ish, but not too. But then, yes, transitioned to the more inspirational stories like finding lost loves, reuniting moms with adopted kids. And then he had some episodes about MS because as of being a sufferer himself, wanted to, bring focus and awareness to this disease. And then he also would have on Wednesdays, and then also on the New Year, Sylvia Brown.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
so
I remember that.
On a lot of Wednesdays and do psychic readings for guests.
Canadians couldn't call.
Yeah, and such Canadians couldn't call. Do it for like people calling in or just guests who were in the studio. And then except every New Year, she would do the predictions. Which one was always my favorite episode. She would do the predictions.
How often was she right?
There was quite a few times that she'd be right. Like, and that's the thing. They would show her predictions from the previous years, and then see what she got right, what she got wrong, or not really what she got wrong, but what she got right, and then she'd give her predictions for the next year. Yeah, I love those episodes. Those ones were good. Yeah, Montel. We love you, Montel.
Yeah, Montel, you were awesome.
You were one of the good ones.
You helped us become who we are. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Next we have, I know my sister loved this one, that's why I watched this one, was Lisa. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yes.
93 to 2000.
Yes.
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 She was kind of she was like a more darker
I honestly cannot picture her or her set or anything like that, but I absolutely remember Lisa. Like I remember the name.
I remember my sister used to
as soon as you show me a picture of it.
One all the time.
Gibbons. I knew that was her last name. Yes.
Yes.
She does look very familiar, yes.
It was on NBC, ran from 93 to 2000. It was originally hosted with Lisa Gibbons and John Tesh. But then...
Shut up!
Yeah.
Like the John Tesh?
The John Tesh.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, but then 7 months into it...
I love the John Tesh show.
I know, me too. He left within 7 months, and then so it just became the Lisa show. Originally, it was a celebrity interview show when he was on it, so kind of like a, like a lot of that stuff kind of at the time, girl guy co-host celeb talk show. But then when it became her, it kind of went to more current events, crime stories, celeb stories, just all around talk show host. Yeah, she is right there actually on her show.
I don't know if it was Lisa or if it was like one of the other ones, but I like the ones where they would get a letter or something from like a woman who thinks her husband's cheating or vice versa. Yeah. And they'd get like a private eye to follow them, and then they would like reveal everything like on the show, and then like the spouse would, like got caught cheating would get super fucking mad and just how could you do this to me and blah blah blah. Like no, you're the fucking moron.
You're the idiot. You're the moron. It's their own fault for getting caught. Yeah. Like, or even for just doing it to begin with. Not even to get caught,
general. Like you're not mad, like you got mad because you got caught.
Yeah. You got mad because you got caught and you should have just done it in general.
Yeah. Fuck you, bro.
So next on our list, this one has had many iterations. It's the Live With series.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
So we have Live with Regis and Kathy Lee from 83 to 2000. Live with Regis from 2000 to 2001. Because Kathy Lee had been fired, I believe it was, or she left. Either way, Kathy Lee had an exit.
I'm going to find out.
You're going to find out.
In 1 second, yeah.
Then we had Live with Regis and Kelly from 2001 to 2011. And then Regis retired because he was doing it from 83 to 2011. That's a long time, guys. Then we had Live with Kelly from 2001 to 2011 to 2012. And then again in 2016 and 2017 when coasts kind of switch around. Then it was Live with Kelly and Michael Strahan from 12 to 16. Then now we have Live with Kelly and Ryan since 2017, and it is still going, and that is on ABC.
Basically, it looks like she left just like because her Regis just couldn't get along anymore.
Okay.
I guess.
There was just some issues between the two of them, so she just exited herself. Mm-hmm. And then she was later on the Today Show with, I remember the Hoda Kotb.
Is Regis dead? Did Regis Philbin die?
In 2020?
What? I don't think I heard about that. I was just having a search around.
Oh, jeez. So, while you look, that's so disappointing. Oh.
Cause of death. Yeah, what the fuck? Died July 24th of 2020. Huh.
Oh, poor Regis.
Oh.
Well, we didn't. I'm sorry, we didn't remember that. Xavier Philbin. Well done.
Francis Xavier.
Charles Xavier. So yes,
Heart attack due to coronary artery disease.
Well, how old did it say he was?
88.
Yeah, he was old.
Oh, speaking of R.I.P. the Queen.
R.I.P. the Queen. Yes, we did not mention. This is true. She has passed just recently.
I honestly thought she was going to outlive us all.
I did too. I thought she was a cockroach and going to be up there with Keith Richards and never die.
Yep.
However, Betty White did beat her.
Yep. Score 99.
Score 99
96.
instead of 96. Good for you, Betty. Good for you. So yeah, ABC was a morning celebrity talk show. When I was reading on it, actually, Gelman, good old Gelman.
Oh, Gelman.
Said the concept is kind of like a husband and wife chit-chatting over their morning coffee.
I can see that.
Right?
Yep.
So that was the base.
I watched it sometimes. I wasn't an avid fan or anything, but I watched it.
I would catch it, good interviews, or if there was nothing on sometimes, or like if just in a background.
Because it was usually on at like 9.
It was the 9 to 10. Yeah.
It was the 9 to 10.
When we get to Canada AM, I got a story about Regis and that. So it was the 9 to 10 o'clock hour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm intrigued. All right.
Intrigued, yes.
Something to look forward to.
Yes. Next we had Geraldo, 87 to 98 on
that
CBS.
I called Geraldo for the longest fucking time.
Yes.
Like, I would not believe my mom when she told me the G is pronounced like an H. I was just like, that is stupid and doesn't make any fucking sense.
And then you found out, and it's like, oh.
Oh, yeah, and then I found out about silent letters.
And, silent letters and, different languages, pronouncing them different way as well, and,
Like, pneumonia? Like, why does it have a P? Why does it have a silent P? Why does knife have a silent K?
Lasagna.
Like, what the fuck?
Anyways, so it was a tabloid talk show.
Take a drink. We got off topic.
Yeah, we did. He was Geraldo was very journalistic, I found.
Yeah.
Because even after he left the show, he was still on
He was more to, like, true stories and things like that that caught news articles and things like...
Yes, he was, and even after his show was over, he was on a lot of news coverage. He would
also cover like world events. Like, I'm pretty sure he had an episode when the O.J. Simpson thing happened, when John Benet Ramsey was killed. Mm-hmm. Like, he had I'm pretty sure that he had like Timothy McVeigh's lawyer on at one point or something. Like, he was very involved in like the world, like what was like world culture, like current events.
Yeah,
more so than any other, I feel.
The two that I noted from Wikipedia that I just found were very kind of intriguing because I believe I kind of...
And his fucking mustache is legendary.
Legendary mustache.
Like, if you're not talking about Tom Selleck, like, you are talking about Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah. So in 88, there was a very controversial racism episode. He had a skinhead organization and then a black and Jewish activists on the show. And an incident.
I think I remember that.
Right? Yep, because you will. An incident had happened, and then one of the guys said something. The black activist went over and kind of started a little bit of a fight, and so a full brawl ensued. And then a bunch of security, Geraldo had to get involved, and a chair was actually thrown at Geraldo. So you probably remember that particular video or image. So
I forgot about that.
That's why I had to remember this. I'm like, I remember this image, and he suffered a nasal fracture from getting...
I so fucking remember that. Yes, it's like you opened a file in my brain, and
right?
It's like, bam!
Right?
Geraldo facts.
Right? Geraldo facts. And then also another episode where he had a scuffle with a KKK member in 1982.
I was like 8, so I don't think I remember that.
Yeah.
probably wasn't watching it.
The other one was in 88, the controversial, but I just remember that had been shown many times after. Like, that image in that video was a flashback of like historical moments of our society.
Yeah, I think that was shocking enough that imprinted in my little brain.
Yes, I agree.
Because 1988, I was 5, so I was still like, I was in kindergarten half day.
Yeah. So
I would have been home watching shit like this with my mom.
Exactly. So yeah, again, his mustache.
Because we watched inappropriate things when we were children in the 80s and 90s.
We were latchkey kids. We were watching very inappropriate things. I think what was it, 94 when Jason Goes to Hell came out and I watched it? I was 9. 10. I was 9 and I watched it.
I was 10 when I saw that.
Like, not good, guys, not good.
We rented it for all of our cousins, and I was not even the youngest cousin.
Someone else had rented it, and we just decided to watch it because we were living in an apartment building, and he was the landlord kid, so. We went to their apartment and no parents were home and watched it or something like that. It was hilarious. Off topic drink. So next we have Donnie and Marie.
Oh, I love Donnie and Marie.
I loved this one too.
I love Donnie and Marie.
Ran from 98 to 2000.
I had a thing for Donnie when I was younger.
My mom loved Donnie when...
It's the teeth.
Well, also, he was a Mormon, and because we were Mormon, she kind of had that extra love for him, but she had a big thing for Donny Osmond.
I was probably about 8th grade around the time that I fell in love with Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yes,
because we were
95, yep.
Because we were doing the musical in my school in like the 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade, and I was in the choir.
As soon as Donny Osmond was in something, it was on my mom's radar, and I knew about it.
Yeah, and Donny Osmond, as most of you would know, played Joseph in the Broadway rendition of The Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And so, like, my dad fucking rented me the soundtrack from the library, and he recorded on a tape cassette the soundtrack for me. Yeah, and I listened to it constantly.
There's your millennial moment right there.
Oh, there we go. And then, like, yeah, and so, like, I listened to it incessantly, and so when Donnie and Marie came out with a fucking talk show, it occupied so much of my time. Oh. Like, I taped it, like...
Just because it's hilarious in this particular moment, when I was listening to one of the episodes of Formidable Moments this week, their particular word for these was called euphoric recall.
Euphoric recall, I like that.
Right?
That's a good word,
That is
guys.
a good word. And I was like, I had to tell Lindy this. And then because we're doing, like, we're having it so bad right now, such bad euphoric recall, I was like, I have to tell her. I have to say it.
That's a good idea. Let's do that, Bear.
Right? So, next, so Donnie Marie's Celebrity Talk Show. It only lasted for 2 years. I think people just either didn't like their vibe together, the thing. I don't know. I didn't see why it canceled, but
I don't know why it canceled. I thought it was fucking great. It was so funny.
Right?
And
I loved them.
They always have really great musical talents on, and a lot of, like, musical talents that you wouldn't really have heard of like, otherwise. Like, they had obscure names on some, like, obscure talents.
Yes.
And things like that. And then they went on to, like, their Vegas show, right?
Yeah.
So.
It was, yeah.
I mean, so, like, they're not hurting.
No, they were never hurting ever.
Because as we know, like, they were, you know, Donnie Marie, the singers when they were teenagers.
Yeah, and then the Osmonds had their own band.
Yeah, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
Yeah, so they're not hurting family. They were like the White Jacksons at the time, basically, kind of.
The White Jacksons.
Well, no, because there was the Osmond family, and then the two of them branched off. Like, it's the equivalent.
They would have been like the NSYNC to the Backstreet Boys,
right?
Like it's Osbournes to fucking Jackson 5,
the Beatles to the Rolling Stones. I think at the time, like, it was they were the family band. They were the family band at the time, and then the Partridge Family, although they were a fake family band,
still, and the Brady Bunch, like right,
well, that was there, that was.
So we're talking about like the verse, like the comparisons,
yeah. And then we've got, these ones just kind of break it down. Joan Rivers ran from 89 to 93. Celebrity Talk Show. Joan Rivers. It's just Joan Rivers, you know.
Joan Rivers is what I guess was an oddity. Yeah. For lack of a better word. She was like, she was one of those people that, like, either she really annoyed you or you liked her.
Yeah.
I liked her. There were some things about her that I found obnoxious, but she's a comedian at first, right? Yes. Like, she was the first comedian. But then once her daughter Melissa got involved, I was like, oh, fuck you, Melissa.
Yeah, so she was annoying. Because I was watching Celebrity Apprentice when they were on it together. And
I remember when Joan Rivers was on an episode of America's Next Top Model. Yeah. And they had to, like, interview her or something like that. And she would, like, rip them apart, like, in a funny way. Like, that was a horrible darling. That was, like, not how you interview someone. And
she was savage.
She was brutal. So was Janice Dickinson, though.
Yes. But she was in the industry for so long. So she was kind of allowed to be savage. And she knew what she was talking about. Yeah. Then next was Rolanda, 94 to 97.
Yeah, I remember Rolanda.
Daytime talk show. At the time, it was a replacement for the Les Brown show. I guess that one only didn't do good in the ratings.
Like the name Les Brown? Like,
yes. Les. Okay. Yeah. Went on hiatus. And she was actually a senior correspondent originally before this for Inside Edition.
Oh, nice. That was a show I watched quite a bit.
Right? My sister was into all of those hard copy Inside Editions.
Oh my god. I fucking Access Hollywood, like Entertainment Tonight. Oh my god. I fucking ate that shit up. I was obsessed with celebrity in Hollywood.
Yes, she was. And after.
I feel like I wasted so much fucking time being so involved in celebrity lives.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. If YouTube and Instagram and all of this influencer culture actually happened when we were young, like if we had, like, because we were the beginning of Facebook and social media, so we didn't have a lot of this stuff. So if we actually had this at the time, do you realize how famous like we could have been a Perez Hilton, like influencer stuff we could have been if we had because we had all of this stupid information and knowledge and critiquing and stuff. If only we had gone to this 20 years ago.
I think I would probably social media while I was in high school probably would have been the death of me. Because you don't think I don't have a filter now? This is somewhat controlled compared to when I was a teenager.
But yet you never got your ass kicked, which is kind of funny.
Not.
Although I did.
Probably because I was a big girl in high school.
Yeah.
And I was intimidating. I had short hair. I was butch.
Not for lack of tomboyish, but you were very, I think I was more boy-like.
And people knew I had a temper. I was like, I'm not trying to like beat myself up or anything. I don't know, like, yeah, no, I'm shocked nobody fucking decked me in high school.
Right?
Like, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Anyways, next we had Carney Wilson, ran from, it was just one season.
Yeah.
95, 96.
Of Wilson Phillips fame.
There was actually
Brian Wilson's daughter.
That season, there was many shows that started and the hosts were first-time hosts, but hers had the highest rating of all of those shows. However, it was not enough to keep her going and she was replaced by the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Huh.
Right?
That was what replaced her?
That's what replaced her. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Sorry, Carney, but I liked Rosie better.
I agree. I mean, like, why couldn't
You're fabulous, but
why couldn't they have just moved her to a different time slot and then, put Rosie or something? Anyway. So then, lastly, I guess in the kind of U.S. sort of realm here, I have that I kind of looked up majorly on Howie Mandel show. I love this one. It only ran from 98 to 99.
This one was so good. I love Howie Mandel.
Yes, it was on NBC. It was a television variety show, so it was actually kind of sort of in the same vein as the Tonight Show, but in the daytime.
Yes,
it's kind of the sort of what they were kind of going for, and it was taped in the same studio as Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. Mm-hmm. They had like kind of the Studio One band that was in the house. He would kind of do an opening monologue, and they always had 2 celeb guests and a musical act. Mm-hmm. Ran in the daytime. His first guest, which I thought was kind of funny because it was Ellen's first guest as well, was Jennifer Aniston.
Interesting.
Right? I thought that was a cute, fun little thing. And Brittany made her first performance appearance on this show in 99.
Really?
Yes.
That's fascinating.
So for us, because we love Brittany, and Brittany is amazing, that was a fun fact.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
She's amazeballs.
And we hate what's going on in your life right now, Brittany, with your boys, but you do you, girl. Mm-hmm.
You deserve better, but you hang on. They'll come around.
You have your freedom.
Fuck you, K-Fed.
Right. So now in our Canada realm, we have Canada AM, which ran on CTV from 1972 to 2016. 2000, so this is where I was going to go. In 2000, so this actually normally ran from 6:30 to about 9 o'clock, I believe it was.
Yeah. It was basically a news program mixed with a talk show.
A little bit of talk show, a little bit of celebrity information.
Did they do the weather?
In there.
They did the weather.
Yeah, it was all of those morning type things.
It was kind of like a Good Morning America.
Yeah, it was very like a Good Morning America, Good Morning, or the Today Show, just in Canada's version. So in 2000, they decided they wanted to try their own version of Regis and Kelly, adding in Coffee Talk at the end of the program, which ran from...
I'd watch it just because it has coffee in the title.
And they actually took Regis and Kelly off of their programming schedule during this time. So it ran from 9 to 10. So this was supposed to be like their...
Interesting.
Yes. So it was taken off, and they were going to replace it with Coffee Talk.
Would that not have like gone against a contract of some sort?
No. They would say they could probably. I feel like there's some kind of syndication things where they can,
pick and choose
type things because they're not made here. They're But it was brought back in 2001 because Regis and Kelly was getting such great ratings. Because this was around the time when Kathy had left and Regis was by himself for a bit and stuff, so the ratings weren't the greatest. And then Kelly came in, and people were sure
she would have brought in a lot of her All My Children fans.
Yes, but at the same time,
she was Haley on All My Children.
I wasn't a big fan of her at first when she came in. I was like, this girl's kind of like a little annoying. I don't know. It took me a bit to warm up to Kelly Ripa, I found, because she would always talk about her husband or things like she was just.
Who was also on All My Children, by the way. How we met.
So it was just like there was a lot of. At first, but I came around to her. So yes, it started to get better in the ratings, and then so in 2001 they scrapped it. Weekends they would have a best of Canada AM on Saturdays. So it would just kind of run, I think, for like an hour or so. It would just kind of give you the best of the week stories, a recap.
Oh, like a highlight reel kind of week? Okay,
Saturdays for those who might not have watched it or just
I'm going to say no, because Saturday mornings I was watching cartoons.
Right? Exactly.
Doesn't matter what age I was, that's what I was watching.
Yep, and so like I said,
well into my early 20s.
It originally ran from 6:30 to 9:30, and in January 2008, they decided to have a format change to a 6-hour run from 6 to 12, and then they added in a West Coast team. So you kind of get where that extra third hour kind of came in. Yeah. 3 hours came in, have the morning people, the east, middle, west to the west. But then June of 2008, they scrapped the extra 3 hours because the ratings just weren't there or nothing like that.
It seems like, I don't know. How do they expect to have good ratings when, like, your show is fucking 6 hours long?
Yeah.
Who is gonna fucking watch that every goddamn Saturday?
Right?
Like, or every day. Every day. Yeah, like, fuck.
Like, the only people who would watch that is maybe old people, but it's like the only people, like, the East Coast people will watch
or, like,
the first
stay-at-home
few
parents,
hours.
but maybe have it on in the background while they piddle around the house.
But not only
stuff.
that, like, you're gonna have the same kind of ratings just depending on your work, because you're only gonna have the people who work in the East, as soon as they go to work, they're gonna turn it off and go. Like, they'll watch it before work. And then you're gonna have your West Coast people who are gonna watch it before going to work as well. So, like, your ratings are not gonna...
They're gonna be maddeningly inconsistent.
Or they're gonna be relatively the same across all the hours because people are leaving and going to work and stuff like that. So you're not gonna get an increase or a spike.
I agree.
So the hosts, now there's been a bunch over the years, but our prime ones I decided to go with were Valerie Pringle.
Oh, yeah, Valerie Pringle.
From 92 to 2001. Yeah. Dan Matheson from 95 to 2001. Lisa LaFlamme. Shout out to Lisa.
You go, girl. Woo.
Because she started at CKCO Kitchener.
Yes,
so
she
we
did.
always loved her. And then, of course, obviously the new controversy or whatever with CTV getting rid of her from the national news. And City News picked her up during the Queen coverage.
So she's going to be covering all things royalty.
Yep. So at the moment, she's covering all things royalty.
Awesome.
And we'll see where she goes.
We got you, girl. We are never turning CTV on again. I deleted my CTV app.
I've never had CTV.
I never really watched it, but I fucking deleted it.
Yep.
Fuck you, CTV.
Yep. Never really is my CTV.
You lost so much fucking support.
So she was only on for 2
Bad
years.
Move.
2001 to 2002. And then Seamus O'Regan is...
Seamus O'Regan.
Right?
He was adorable.
He ran from 2002
so
to 2011. And then Beverly Thompson, 2003 to 2016, and it actually ended in 2016.
Can I just make a side note? I'm pretty sure it was on CTV that Tom Knowlton from Camp Caribou was the weather guy. Okay. Did you know that? Because it was Mark and Tom who ran Camp Caribou.
Yes, and then on CKCO, do you remember when Ross from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes, he was doing the weather as well. Yeah, he was the weather guy.
He was the weather guy.
Yeah, he was in Student Bodies as well.
Yes, Student Bodies. This was after. So he did Are You Afraid of the Dark, and then Student Bodies, and then after Student Bodies was when he came journalist
newscasting. Newscasting.
Yeah. Oh, the good old days. So then next on City TV, we had Breakfast Television. My notes are in here. Because you came when I was doing the notes, so I didn't get to finish my note taking.
My bad. Sorry. Hey, I texted and called. You didn't fucking answer.
Well, no, I went upstairs and I was taking a break from the notes, and then that's when you called. So I was like, I need to get away from these for a few minutes. So it premiered in September 9th, 1989, and it is still going to this day. The original hosts were Ann Romer.
So, yesterday was its anniversary.
Yeah, yesterday was its anniversary. September 9th was its anniversary. Good on you. I wonder if they did something. Maybe they did. And music VJ Steve Anthony would come in, which was kind of funny. Who was the guy? So, Dina Pugliese? Is that was her name?
Where are you looking here? Dina Pugliese?
Do you not remember? You remember her, right?
Dina, yes.
I can't remember how to say her name. So she was on it, and then who was... Yeah, her.
Okay, yeah.
Remember her? Yeah. So she was the host for the last, I don't even know, however many years. She is still even on it. And who was the one before her?
I don't know. You do the notes, remember?
You do. He was on it forever. Oh, Kevin Frankish. That's the guy.
Nope, couldn't tell you.
No, you'll recognize him, because he was also on CP24 a lot.
Oh, okay, I just never knew his name.
Yeah. So Kevin Frankish was on from 89 to 2018.
Wow.
Forever.
Good for you, bro.
Right?
That's longevity.
He was the one that I remember forever. Tracy Moore was a reporter and a fill-in news anchor from 2005 to 2007, who was one of the City Line, who is another show we will mention. And did we mention it in the last one, or
I don't know. It's been a while.
Is it in my list here?
City Line? I don't know. Probably not. I don't.
Oh, it is in my list. Okay, it is in my list here. So City Line we will talk about next. He was on that. So, and Dina Pugliese has been on it forever as well. She's been the host with Kevin Frankish forever, and then now it is Devo Brown and Sid Seixeiro. I'm not sure. It's a
Seixeiro.
Yeah. Sorry if I bastardized your name. I'm sorry. We are trying here.
Bastardized.
Yeah, and so it was on. It was kind of like, I guess not the rival, but the rival to City TV. But this one was definitely more new. I didn't watch this one as much because it was more newsy. But they were just kind of sitting in a studio just seemed more newsy versus like talk or celebrity. I think.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so,
I never really watched it either.
Yeah, this one wasn't over.
Because there's just, I mean, this goes back to saying that like these talk shows, like it was oversaturated. Like there was way too many to fucking choose from. They were all on at the same fucking time.
Yeah,
like you had to pick and choose your favorites because like you just
couldn't
did
catch them all.
Yeah, they're like Pokemon,
right? Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. So yes, next we had, which was also on City TV. So basically up here we had for those who aren't in Canada, City TV, CTV were our main two, and Global were our main three Canadian channels.
Those were the three channels you got on analog if you didn't have cable.
They were like your ABC, CBS, and NBC essentially in Canada.
Sure,
the American networks. Yep. They're the equivalent. You could broadcast networks that kind of had your main news.
Ones that everybody gets.
Yeah, they would play the American equivalencies on the shows.
Yeah,
they all had their local news stations and things. So they were our kind of.
Do you remember when TV used to end at the end of the night? Like all the channels.
It's 11 o'clock. Where are your children?
Yeah. Do you know where your kids are? And literally from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m. it was that. With like the rainbow colored thingies on the screen.
Or sometimes it would just be the snow on the screen.
Yeah. Or you flip to the Scrabbled stations and you can watch Scrabbled porn.
Yeah, Scrabbled
porn. Scrabble's a fucking board game.
Late at night. Fuck. So
that's my old brain.
When you had breakfast television I guess this would have been when Coffee Talk would have been on. Cityline was on City TV. So it ran from 84 till now. It's actually still going.
Never watched it.
Danielle watched it from time to time when we were homesick. Danielle liked watching this one. When Marilyn Dennis was on. So I would catch it because they would do. It was in a studio and they would have. It was definitely kind of more female based. They would have like makeover Fridays, I think it was, and they would have like fashion people coming in and talk, or they'd have like people coming in and talk about like patio, like how to set up for your summer patio furniture. And
my mom watched it.
Like a lot of those kind of stuff.
Like I kind of watched it by proxy.
Yeah,
because my mom watched it.
Yeah. So you kind of got a lot of those topics out of this one. So like they'd have someone come in and they would show you like, she's like, oh, this year's fashions. And then they'd have a few models coming in and they'd show you different pieces, where you could buy them.
I hated the fashion episodes.
She was not a fashion girl back then.
Like of almost every fucking talk show that did like fashion runway, unless they were like extravagant outfits like the drag queen fashion shows on like Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake, those were awesome because those costumes were fucking ridiculous.
Well, you said costumes,
but like in general, like unless they were like ball gowns or something. But if you're just doing like everyday fashion shows, kind of like of everyday clothes, like yawn,
right?
Fucking Snoretown.
So, the original host of this was Deanie Petty, from 84 to 89. If you remember, and then she went to fashion television.
I was all of a year to 6 years old.
Deanie Petty later went to, if you remember her from fashion television.
What did we just finish talking about stuff?
What?
I don't like fashion, so I would not have watched fashion television.
But there was always like the commercials, or they would do snip-ins on Much Music every so often. She would they would like put in because she might have interviewed someone.
Selective sight.
She had like the dark black hair.
I chose not to see those things.
Okay, all right.
But yes, the dark black Bob. Yeah, with the bright red lips.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I knew you'd know her. I knew you'd know exactly who Deanie Petty is. Yeah. I knew it.
Now it's all coming flooding back.
Euphoric recall.
Oh my god, it had like the black and white.
Although for you, that's not euphoric.
It had the black and white, like yin and yang FT thing as its like
as its symbol.
Yeah.
Marilyn Dennis was the long running.
She had great glasses.
She did too. She always had amazing glasses. She ran, and she was also on Chum FM as well.
She reminds me a little of Sally Jesse.
A little bit, yeah. She was kind of she ran from 89 to 2008, and so while she was also doing the show, like I said, she was a morning host for 104.5 Chum FM.
Yeah, she was on 2 shows.
Roger, Rick, and Marilyn in the mornings, and then Tracy Moore took over in 2008 until today, because it is, I believe, still going
to present.
And then Deanie Petty actually tried to have her own talk show for one season. Oh no, actually, she did have one apparently for 10 seasons. Hold on, did I write that down right? Was it 89 to 99? Hold on. But yes, she did have her own talk show as well. Yeah, 8 seasons. So 89 to 99, she had her own talk show. So she left Cityline to do the Deanie Petty show and fashion television, I guess, at the same time.
All right, then.
So she was doing the two at
the same time. I can honestly say I've never heard of nor probably ever seen the Deanie Petty show.
I don't think I have.
Like that, the logo,
CFTO TV
does not even look familiar. That was Channel 4. Wasn't it? Wasn't that Channel 4?
No, that was CFMT. CFTO, I think.
No,
was
CFMT was 38.
No,
wait.
CMT.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah.
Canada's first
CFMT was Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Yes.
That's how they... I'm not saying this, guys, as this was what they broadcasted it as for the first few years. They eventually changed it to Omni, but CFMT actually broadcasted as Canada's first multicultural television.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Yeah, 89.99.
That was Channel 4, yeah.
Affiliated with...
Never watched it.
Batten Broadcast. I think this might have been Channel 10.
That sounds more familiar. Yeah.
CFTO, and then I think it might have changed to CH.
Yeah, because Channel 8 was because 7 was CTV, 8 was French, 9 was a NBC, because 12 and 9 were the same channels.
11 was an NBC.
What was 9?
9 and 10 were always confusing to me. So they might have been one of these. It might have been these ones.
I think 10 was this one, was CFTO.
Yeah, and 9 was, I think, another
11 was
local
NBC.
affiliate.
12 was CTV. 13 was the TV Guide channel.
Yeah.
And 14 was the Weather Channel. And then that changed to the 17.
And then 14 became Omni again.
24 was
Omni
C-Pulse.
2, actually.
25
later.
was YTV. 28
and
was Fox.
drink, because we are off topic again,
29
guys.
was much music. 36 was much more music.
And then lastly was Camilla Scott, which ran from 96 to 98.
Sounds really fucking familiar.
The Camilla Scott show. She
Yes,
had
it does.
an episode with JoJo's Psychic Alliance on it.
JoJo's Psychic Alliance.
Oh, you don't remember JoJo's Psychic Alliance? This girl? Remember she had...
Oh, yeah. I know that prophesied blonde anywhere.
Yeah, so she had an episode...
That looks familiar. So who's Camilla Scott? What does she look like? I
didn't remember this. Danielle actually was the one who told me this. So this is Camilla Scott. Yeah, Danielle was the one who showed me this.
Yeah, she kind of looks like Ricky Lake.
Oh, okay, yes. A little bit, yes.
Yeah, I
vaguely remember that. Yeah, Danielle, like I said, Danielle was the one who told me this.
Like her logo thing looks very familiar, but the show itself,
don't remember it either, yeah.
Hey, look, picture of Berenstain Bears.
Berenstein or Berenstain?
Earth Girls Are Easy!
Oh, that's funny.
Why is that?
Maybe there was something they did or
That's
something?
so weird. It says TV series.
I know, that's why
Did they do an Earth Girls Are Easy TV series?
But it says Camilla Scott show 96 to... Nothing.
Unless it was just like a...
Someone just posted things and they're stupid, because that people, I guess, do that on IMDb.
Okay, we'll look at it after, but...
Anyways.
Yeah,
so then... We didn't watch these, but I figured we might as well mention them just because some of our listeners may have possibly have watched them. There were 2 Christian or faith-based morning talk shows that were out. 100 Huntley Street was the Canadian Christian talk show, which started in 97 and is still going. And then there is the 700 Club, which has lasted for fucking ever. U.S. Christian talk show is 1966, and it is still going to this day.
Good for them.
We don't have much to say about it, guys. I'm sorry, because we didn't watch.
I honestly, I couldn't even tell you what they were. Like, if you had asked me back then, going through the TV Guide channel, I'd be like, oh, what's 100 Huntley Street? I don't fucking know.
I just knew it was on there all the time, but I never knew what it was. And then I saw what it was on Vision. Yeah. I think it was 27 or something like that, or 24 or something.
23, I think.
23?
It was 23.
23 maybe, yeah. So.
22 maybe.
Yeah, so it was one of those. Either way, went past it. I knew it was something. But
we just clicked past it.
We just clicked past it. Didn't see the interest.
Yeah.
So last ones were just kind of again random ones. I didn't really find much info per se on them, but they were
kind of just thrown in there.
Because there's a couple that I wish.
Oh my
I had
god, I remember Tempest. I totally remember Tempest.
There was the Roseanne show, which ran from 98 to 2000, which followed up after her sitcom End, and it was actually the first to film digitally and would have web chats throughout the show.
Yes.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. She was kind of like the first one to use a lot of digital recording and then technology into her show. The Suzanne Powder show, that blonde-haired woman.
Blonde hair with buzz cut,
Yep, 94, 95.
Super, influencing. Yeah,
and a lot of
motivating
and things like that. Discussed current issues and news pertaining to women.
Yeah, super health fit.
Yep, super health and fitness. Jones and Jury.
Never heard of it.
I think it was... Star Jones, after she left The View, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was Richard Bay Show. Again, this one I didn't hear of, so
I don't know the Richard Bay Show either.
Me neither. I just heard it, saw it on a list, put it down, because, it's what I do. I don't know who.
Doesn't look familiar at all. No fucking clue.
Oh, non-traditional arbitration-based reality court show presided over by the former Brooklyn prosecutor.
I did not know Star Jones was a DA.
I knew she was some kind. I didn't know she was DA, but I knew she was some kind of lawyer when she was on The View.
Damn.
I just didn't know what she was. So yeah, she had that one. The Mark W. Wahlberg show.
Like as in Marky Mark?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Like why else would he fucking throw in the W?
Right? But yeah, I was like, I couldn't find, that's why I was like, I need to find information. I couldn't find information. I wasn't too sure.
Well, where did you hear about this?
It was on a list of talk shows from the 90s on Wikipedia or whatever.
Well, you just searched Mark W. Wahlberg show and nothing fucking came up.
So that tells you what it is. The Gabrielle Cartieres show. Do you remember that?
Yes.
When she left 90210 and then she had her own talk show.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because I found Andrea Zuckerman obnoxious.
Yeah. I agree.
So I just didn't care for her.
Agreed. But I do remember it being on, and she was wearing power suits a lot in it.
Yeah, I mean, good for her. All the power to her. Just it did not interest me.
Didn't interest me. Yeah. Chevy Chase tried to have a morning talk show, and it lasted all of 2 weeks. Not surprising, because people just can't stand Chevy Chase, especially that early in the morning.
Because oh my god, is he an asshole?
Yes, exactly. It's the reason why he got kicked out of all of the shows and stuff. Anyways, yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Like I said, Tempest. Suzanne Summers show and Tony Danza show. Yeah, the Tony Danza. Yeah, is that Tony Danza?
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Yeah, so he had his own little talk show there for a bit as well.
Interesting.
Some of them lasted some seasons, some didn't.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I said, there's a lot, as you can tell, a lot of these markets between the afternoon, the daytime, the even late night evening talk shows. There's
the viewers were there, obviously.
Yes,
like,
the viewers were
the
there.
Viewership was there.
Well, you got to remember, in the 90s, there was nothing. 90s and 2000s, there was nothing else to do. We didn't have streaming. Not everyone was off in all of these places.
We didn't have our phones to keep us busy or stuff.
Hollywood basically told you what you wanted to, like. I mean, obviously the ratings would direct what would stay on, but they essentially told you what they think you want.
Yeah.
And put it on TV
and shoved it in your face.
And shoved it in your face.
Yeah.
And then you basically didn't watch it for them to change it.
But I think that's why there was so much stuff and that was what was great about it is because it had variety.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to watch Ricky Lake or Jenny Jones or Montel if you didn't want to.
And I mean, like, it's not the variety that we have now.
Because keep in mind,
but
while these talk shows were going on, there are like other shows on that were like, you know, because I think Price of Right was on at 10, wasn't it? Because Jenny Jones was on right after it at 11.
Yeah, Price is Right. Yeah, sometimes.
And then I think Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake were on at the same time, and it was the same thing with Maury Povich. They were on at 11 and 4.
And that's not even that's something that's totally even a different episode in all of itself of the daytime game shows as well that were on.
Showcase Showdown.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you said, so we've got, Price is Right,
Family Feud,
all of those. There was lots to watch, like not like nowadays where there's fucking
oh my god. Now it takes you fucking days to just find something to fucking watch.
Yes, because speaking of, so much content.
I started binging Workaholics. It's actually really fucking
my
funny.
gosh, it's so funny. I'm so glad you watched it.
I listened to their podcast, and I didn't have a way of streaming it because I didn't have any of the streaming services.
Yeah.
But then my friend Kayla at work, she gave me her Crave, so I started watching it.
I have everything else Crave.
Yeah. So I started watching it, and I was just like, oh my god, this show's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny.
Me and Kevin
and
watched it. Actually, we should probably go back and watch it again.
And
we're watching Cobra Kai right now.
We're gonna start season 5 Cobra Kai tonight.
Yeah, we just started it last night because it just came out. Yeah.
Well, Aaron and the kids are waiting for me to get home so we can start it.
Wow. Now I'm going to delay the meeting.
Well, it's going to take any longer because when I get home, Aaron's taking Aiden out for a driving lesson in my new car. Well, technically it's Aaron's car, but still.
Yeah.
Drink off topic.
Well, I guess we're almost at Well, we're at the end, I guess. We're almost at the end, so it is off topic, but it is also just, Gabber at the end.
All right. So next episode is going to be a part 3 of our series.
I guess we got to do.
I mean, we've done afternoon, day. We should have done daytime, afternoon, then nights. But we kind of went. We flip flop a little bit.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Or we should have done nighttime and then done daytime and thrown it all out of fucking loop, all over the place.
All out of whack.
All out of whack.
So I think next time we're gonna be talking about all those late night talk shows.
Yep.
Like Letterman, Conan.
Then we'll have some guests coming up in a couple of weeks as well too, and stuff. We got some fun episodes coming up.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we'll with some fun guests coming on, talking about some stuff, and yeah.
Way to be big, Steph.
We got boy bands, we got Buffy, we got what's another B I
we
can
got
put
a
on
lot
there?
of
I should have figured out a third B.
bunnies.
Buffy's boy bands and bitches, witches.
But we'll probably talk about Hocus Pocus too.
Because by the next episodes come out, it'll be October.
Because we didn't fully talk about Hocus Pocus last year.
We did not.
We didn't do a full episode. We only touched on it in our Halloween episode.
It is also because it's 93, so technically
it's out of our thing. But I think we can make an
such
exception just because the sequel's coming out.
Right. So.
And I mean, Hocus Pocus is a huge part of millennials' lives, regardless that it came out before 95.
And Thora Birch is a millennial.
And I really think that our listeners would super appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, like
you can just listen to them screaming, "Yes, please do a Hocus Pocus episode." See, I can hear you.
Because by this time we'll be in October. By the time we're done these next couple episodes as well. So yeah, maybe that'll be our Halloween episode.
We'll be married by then.
How does that make you feel?
Old. Why do I have a feeling Aiden is gonna comment on my oldness in his groomsman speech?
Okay, I'm gonna end this because I have a funny story to tell you about class. On that note, you can find us on the socials. You can find us on Spotify. Please comment, like, subscribe, and follow us. And subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Visit us on our website at millennialspod.com and please love us. Like we said last time, we need your applause to live and we want your likes because we need to know you love us.
I feel like I need to apologize on Steph's behalf by her little editing snafu in our last episode.
I do. I apologize for that, guys. I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you didn't miss much, just the intro. Wasn't a lot, so just apologies.
I accidentally
it happened. Technology is awful sometimes.
Yeah, I lapsed the intro and outros on top of each other by accident. Mm-hmm. My apologies. Even if we've done this for 2 years, we can still make mistakes, guys. Yeah. Almost 2 years. Not quite there, but almost 2 years. Yeah. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
Podcast for 2 fucking years.
Almost.
Wow.
Fingernails.
Because
I was tapping. Sorry, guys.
Tap. Okay, and on that note, we are going to say goodbye. Stop dragging out these goodbyes.
And hope you're not too drunk or go have a nap because we got off topic a lot on this one.
Yeah, sorry about your liver, guys.
Enjoy our drinking games.
Yeah.
And we will catch you on the next episode.
Yep. Peace. See ya.